Hey, good evening and welcome to Image Builders Present Conversations with Michael Carson. I'm Michael Carson, your host. Thank you for tuning in tonight. This is a show for men, by men. We have excellent guests each week. We want you to tune in on Facebook and YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, please click that share button and let people know that we're on the air and share this video. If you're watching me on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and click that bell so that you'll know the next time our videos are up and next time we're live. We're up each week, 7 p.m. Eastern, nothing but the best guests, and tonight is no exception. I've been telling you guys for the last week or 2 weeks ago, giving you a hint that I was going to have a special guest tonight, and I don't even want to waste too much time getting into it, but I saw this gentleman on, it was an old Chopped episode. I think it was Chopped Impossible. Mm-hmm. And right while the episode was going on, I was like, let me connect with this brother on Instagram, followed his page, and then reached out to him, noticed some things about his brand and some things I was impressed with. And when we decided to have this show, I reached out to him and said, I would appreciate it. I'd be honored if you come on my show, tell your story, let people know who you are and what you're doing, educate us about this food game, about Chopped. So without further ado, I'm just excited, humbled, and honored to have on our show tonight chef extraordinaire, three-time Chopped champion, Marc Bynum Concepts, Chef Marc Bynum. Thank you, sir. What's up, my brother?
What's going on? How you doing? I wave all the time. I don't know. I don't even know why I do it. What's going on? How's everything?
Everything's good, man. Everything is good. We're gonna get into your morning glory message. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. The one today, I actually listened to all of them. So I check them out because they're like little 30, 60-second nuggets. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But tell everyone who Marc Bynum is. And then I read something about your story about, what is it, Frank and Margot's Mermaid. So
yeah,
talk
about
a little bit how that shaped you. So who is Marc Bynum?
Marc Bynum, I tell people I'm just a peasy-headed kid from Long Island that, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't take no for an answer. That's it. I'm a normal cat. I love to cook. I love to inspire. I love to influence. I also love to be inspired. Yeah. I'm just a normal guy trying to make my way through this world and raise my kids right and have some fun. I'm learning to have fun at 42. That's what's up.
Excellent. Yeah. So I talk about Frank and Margot's Mermaid and how that shaped who you are. But let's go back before that, because I read another article whereby you said it was your mother's cooking.
Yeah. So
it was that your how that inspired others that made you like, this is what I need to do.
My mom is my biggest fan, my biggest critic. Watching her cook was my inspiration. It was the reason why I really took to food. My mom has inspired me in so many ways. Just to be as strong as I am. She's a strong woman. She raised 5 children, 6 if you want to include my oldest son, because he's her grandson, but he's like child number 6. But it's just, she taught me how to cook. She taught me the love and how, and I said it in a video, like the embrace that my mom had, and the people that, it was like, yo, your mom can cook. And I was just like, yo, mom, can cooks make good money? Because I love to do it. She was just like, people are always going to be sick and people are always going to want to eat. So I wasn't going to be a doctor. That wasn't in my cards. It could have been, but nah, I had to go against the pricks. So I decided to be a chef.
So did you go to culinary school?
I went to vocational school when I was in high school. That's it. I'm just BOCES trained. God-given, like Boogie Miles. Like I love food. That's my language. I can speak through food. Yeah. In any type of food is my medium. It gets me before the people, and then the words keep them there, the inspiration. But like, I love to cook. I love to study other people's cuisines. I'm a mutt in the fact that, there wasn't a cuisine at home when you don't have ethnicity in your family, like Haitian or Jamaican or Nigerian, like you're American. So you do barbecue, you do grilling, you do Southern food. And then from there, I was just a sponge. I did noodle, I did barbecue, because I wasn't professionally taught. So I had to work twice as hard, and I had to understand it, had to read, had to, I worked at different restaurants just to learn the food. Frank and Margot's Mermaid was my first restaurant. And the first day I was there, like I got thrown into the weeds, and rightfully so. But I was 14 years old. Like I didn't know
Wow.
anything. It was my
Wow.
first restaurant. I was just about to turn 15. And when I went to Bosie's, they saw my skill set and it was just like, we want to get you in a restaurant ASAP. So I went there and I saw everything. I saw, like I said before, girls, girls, girls. There was girls everywhere. It was late, it was just so much energy there. And it was just like a sponge. Everything was like great about it. Like you could just pull from so many different angles and see so many different things. And then you would go out into cause it was on the water, you would just see everybody just enjoying themselves. You had the live music, you had the bands, and then you had the wind coming off the water. Then you had the sunset. It was just a mood in itself. And that shaped me. That shaped me in the fact that it's like, I love to do this. I really don't want to do anything else. I'm 15 years old. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the street,
Wow. Wow.
I'd be roasting home at 15 years old. Like, it's like and I tell people all the time, it's like being a rock star without being a rock star. But the difference was the foundation that I had from home.
Yeah.
I was too scared. I was too scared of my mom and my dad and God and the church to
Right.
go too far off the deep end. So I wasn't drinking. I wasn't smoking. I was just cooking, and I loved it. And
Wow.
I just moved through each station. I have something like a photographic memory. So everything from kindergarten to now, like I can recant,
Wow.
So if I learn a cuisine, I
Mhm.
got it. And I exercise my palate to where I could taste something and say, I could dissect it. As a chef, that's what you want to do. I want to go to somebody's restaurant and I want to learn it. And you dissect it from the plate all the way back into the kitchen. And I can recant stuff like that. And that's why I love to do ramen. That's why I'm meat at Italian. I love Indian cuisine. Anything to flex your brain. If I was going to be a doctor, I would have been studying a lot. So
Right.
my brain capacity is strong. So I love to like submerge myself in another culture and travel to another place.
So what was the first thing you cooked? Did someone so my wife has said to me many times, you should start a reality show called Send It Back because you always sending your food back. For some reason, what was the thing you cooked? They were like, Chef Mark cooked this, and somebody sent it back and was like, nah, I'm not feeling that. Or I don't like
That
it.
was well, that was my mom. Like,
Oh, okay.
you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
I catered for the church. My mom was sick, and she was just like, and I was working at Bosie's and stuff, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Can you cook the food?" I was like, "I got it." Boom. You know what I'm saying? I made rice. I remember it was rice, vegetables, and chicken, and I made like a marsala sauce, and you know, the church was there, and everybody was eating it. Everybody was patting me on the back, and
Yeah.
my mom took the food. She said she was very disappointed. She said, "Are you at a nursing home?" Or and that there was no soul to it. But I think that's one of the reasons why I am the way that I am in the kitchen, is just because I wasn't school taught. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I was taught by my mom. I was taught to season, and I was taught to put my heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And that says something. I lend myself to every dish. I lend myself to everything that I do. And I always remember my mom's face, and I never ever want to see that. Like, I never want to see that face again. And she'll come into my restaurants and she'll
Yeah.
check me. She'll check me in a minute, and I'm like, "Yo, ma, like, you really need to relax a little bit." And then everybody in the restaurant are like, "Ah, ha, ha, your mom is here." I was like, "All right, bet." I
Right.
still,
Right.
but like, I put sugar in my grits, John P. Key.
Yes. There you go. There you go. I knew why we connected. I do too.
I put sugar in my grits. I put cream in my grits. I put
Yeah.
cream cheese.
Yeah.
I put
Most
cream cheese
definitely.
in my grits. So, and my dad is from the South. My dad's from Alabama. So
Yeah.
he's not a sugar in his grits type of guy. So she comes to the restaurant. I make the grits like my dad, for my
Okay.
dad, and she eats them, and she's just like, these aren't your grits. I said, but Ma, it's not about me all the
Right.
time. It's about the guests that come in. The guests need that. And I need to not put sugar in these grits. Don't be putting these on the menu no more. So I had to change my menu. I'm not getting yelled at by my mom. It's not
Right.
happening, bro. So, but that's the lady that inspired me. And my
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
she she's profound. She's my mom when I was 16 years old told me to get a food truck, and I didn't get a food truck until 20 years later.
Okay.
And I kick myself every day for not following her tutelage. She's wise. My mom
Yeah,
is super duper wise.
when I put out the announcement for the show, a very good friend of mine that I've known for 30 some years, she lived in New York, and she's like, I think I know his mom. I went to church with his mom. And she's like,
Facts.
I think I know his mom. And I said,
Hmm.
well, where do you know? He's like, it's like, I'm from New York. I'm pretty sure I went to church with his mom.
Yeah.
Um,
And I've been going to church since I was baby. I was preaching all over the country when I was what
okay,
17 years old, 18 years old. You
okay.
know, preached
So
in Baltimore. Yeah. So
So preaching the word, and then sharing and then feeding them afterwards, giving them
yeah.
nourishment 2 ways.
Yes. And people will tell you I did not like serving food.
Why not?
Mm-mm-mm. I'll cook it. Like don't have me serve food because then I'm rationing it out. They telling me they want extra. My mom was like, just go in the back. Go in the back. I'll cook the food. I will make it taste good. Do not.
Right.
But now I'll cook the food. I'll serve the food. Like it wasn't in me when I was young. To hospitality is such a okay. All right. I will. Um, but hospitality is definitely a gift,
Yeah.
and when I was younger, I didn't have it. I didn't have the patience for it. I didn't, but people have it, people who don't, and
Right.
service is key. And it wasn't in me when I was 15, 16 years old, but it's here now, and I
So
love it.
you're not the chef that come out to the table and
No,
stand there.
now I am. Oh, what are you talking
Oh,
about?
okay.
Now I'm
Okay.
touching every table. I'm behind the
Okay.
bar. It's because it's my gift. It's the
Yeah.
language that I speak. I say the restaurant is my pulpit. Like I can go there, I can speak to the people. It's great. Like right now, I'm 3 years removed from my own place because I sold out and I pulled away. But I miss the pulpit. I miss being able to speak to
So
the people.
so that was a good segue. I wanted to transition to that. So talk about it. Talk about Hush Bistro and the evolution, and really what did you learn about yourself going through that process?
Hush Bistro was my first restaurant. Like if I think about it too much, I will cry because that's like, and I'm not talking about Hush Huntington. People who know
Right.
it's all about the first one, 291 Main Street, Farmingdale, and it was a process going through it,
Hmm.
and it came about through just not wanting to be a part of anyone else's system anymore.
Yeah.
I was consulting and I would have to chase my money and I could work for somebody, but then I would work for them for 3 months, 4 months. They would feel away. They would make their money off of me. So it was just a cycle that I didn't want to go through anymore. And I was married at the time. I don't have time to be 6 months working, 2 months not working, not making enough money. So I made the decision, just cut it off. It can still cook. All right. So I made the decision to say, I want to open up my own restaurant. And
Hmm.
at the time, I didn't have the money. So I was just like, I believe God for it.
Okay.
So I would literally, when I signed the lease, I didn't have the money in their bank. I was like, when are you guys going to cash this check? They was like, oh, we're going to put it in the bank tomorrow. I was like,
You might want to wait.
okay. And it was triple net, and I had to pay the real estate fee. I
Wow.
said, I was like, God, is going to happen. Check came, couple, and they just came, and they were my checks. They didn't. I
Right.
was like, oh, bet, boom, put it in there. But now I have the build out. How am I going to do that? I did a GoFundMe. I did it. I didn't think that I was ever going to reach the amount of money, but I wanted to promote. I wanted the promotion. I want people to know
Right.
what I was doing. get it out there. And I would literally do a consulting gig,
Hmm.
take the money and pay whoever I needed to pay whoever I needed to pay.
Okay.
Um, it was 4/7, 2013 or 2014.
Hmm.
Roller skating. Somebody hits me up on social media. Uh, a doctor was just like, I want to invest in you. How
Wow.
much do you need?
Wow.
Um, I was like, I think 50,000 will do. I should have asked for more. But listen, when you're starting your business, make sure all your numbers are on paper. So when
Yeah.
people come to you, you know
You
your
know
numbers.
exactly
You
what
should
you
know your numbers frontwards,
Yes.
backwards, sideways, upside down.
Yeah.
Because if you can't speak intelligently about your dream, nobody ever will fund your dream. Remember that. So I should have asked for more. We did it. A couple other things came through. Blessed be to God. But nobody wanted me to open that place. I was the first. I was going to be the first black man on Main Street in Farmingdale. Everything tried to stop me. Everyone tried. The town. It was interesting.
Well, even with your mom's history.
And
Go ahead. Sorry, you have froze for a minute. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. They just, but it came to fruition. Listen, I grew up in that town.
Yeah.
Like it's like three generations. Now
Yeah.
it's four because my son graduated. It's four generations that graduated from Farmingdale, and I was just like, I don't understand why y'all are kicking against me.
Right.
But
Right.
when we opened up, it was live. It was live, live, live. You know,
That's what I'm
and
talking about.
it's everything that I could have imagined
Yeah.
and more. And once you start to believe what people say, once you start to believe, oh, you're good, oh this, oh that, once you feel that you can't go any higher, that's when you lose
Hmm.
because there's nothing fueling you anymore. So with that, I wanted to continue to grow and continue to grow. And I wasn't business savvy enough. It was nobody else's fault but mine.
Hmm.
I can't blame anybody else. At one point I wanted to blame the whole world. But once you sit back and you see how things were going and how you could have did things better, that's why I love to mentor, because if I would have had somebody talking to me like I talk to my brothers and sisters, hopefully I would have listened. And one of the reasons why I try to stay in the know is because these young kids, they need people to listen to, but I have to be in a place where they have to actually say, I'm going to listen.
Hmm.
We back in the days, it was always the drugs on the corner. It was just like, how can a preacher tell me to live good and do what I'm supposed to when the drug man is flossing better than the preacher?
Hmm.
So if I'm going to be able to speak a word to people and say, this is what you should do, I should be able to then live that word. I should be able to then be a proponent and a good example of how you should be able to do your business and also create a balance. And that's what I try and do now. Everything that I speak about is about one, better business, better life, better lifestyle, better health, and creating a balance. Just like today, I wanted to be home doing this podcast, but my kids are important. So
Yeah.
now I'm not at my house.
Yeah.
I'm someplace else with my kids so I can do my podcast, because it wasn't when I had my boys that I was just like, I need to change everything. Is when I knew that a girl was coming into my life, and I was just like, I can't not be accessible to her,
Yeah.
and I have to change the way I live for her. And that was one of the reasons why Marc Bynum Concepts was created,
Yeah.
because I couldn't do the restaurant thing anymore because I was going to murder somebody because they was messing with my money. And I was just like, let me pull away while the brand is still intact.
Hmm.
And now I was always a person that says you can never stop a brand. You can
Right.
stop a person, but you can never stop a brand.
Right.
So to grow M Mark Anthony Robert Bynum to M Bynum Creations, then to Hush,
Yeah.
then to all these things, and now Mark Bynum Concepts is a brand that I have that is me,
Yeah.
where it's my lifestyle brand. So my sea moss that we just did, that's
Mhm.
there. My barbecue sauce, the cook up, you know what I'm saying, the merchandise, the speaking engagements, like that that's that's where
Yeah.
the baseline and the food always came first. And
And
food is always
and
number
speaking
one.
of that barbecue sauce, it's fire, by the way. I put it.
Thank you.
I grilled some pork chops. I grilled some pork
Uh-huh.
chops and I put it on them, and that barbecue sauce was good. My wife was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"What is this guy?" I was like, "This is Mark's barbecue sauce." Like, because she's like, "What?" Because she's always getting on me like, "What's in the mail? What box you getting?" I'm like, "That's a special delivery from Chef
Hmm.
Mark from
Yeah.
New York." So that's his sauce, and we're gonna
Yeah.
use
And
it.
you could throw it on salmon, you could throw it
Yeah,
on chicken. Like
yeah,
it's very versatile. And then the jam is dope too. You got the jam?
I do. I have them both. I haven't
Hmm.
tried the jam yet, but I
The
have them both.
jam, if you like shrimp, you could grill up some shrimp,
Okay.
put it on there. Like if you do like a jerk chicken or a jerk shrimp, that jam will go right on there. You could throw that jam on bread too.
Okay.
It's really
Okay.
good. Hmm.
So one of the things you say, and I like this. You say when you go to your website, and you say this. Well, you have a cup that reads this as well. That says the food speaks. I just listen. Or the cup says the
Hmm.
food speaks.
Yeah.
So what is it? I mean, because you talk about being in harmony with your purpose. That's what it sounds like.
Hmm.
To me. Like this is all. It's a harmonious flow, and
Yeah.
part of living your purpose. I tell people this. When it's part of living your purpose, there are ups and downs, but as long as you're in that purpose, in that thing, you'll come out. So when you
Hmm.
talk about the food speaks and you listen, what do you hear in your spirit, or what do you hear it saying to you with respect to Marc Bynum concepts and what you
Honestly,
plan to
bro.
do? Hello.
Say hello. Okay, now go back. Uh, the whole thing with the food speaks and how it came about. One, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, thank you, Medium for Michael Hall. Like, he came up with that line just based off of him
Okay.
watching some of my videos and watching the way that I speak, and he was just like, the food speaks. I was like, yeah, word. I just listened
Right.
because during the competition. I have one part when I was just like, it was the first one. It was just like, throw me in the bacon, and it was just the food speaking. And that's the beauty of the harmony of everything that I try to create. It's just that when, when I'm cooking, I'm not necessarily there.
Mhm.
I'm totally in a different mindset.
Yeah.
And I like how it comes about, and and I'm doing something, and I love it when God shows off in me when I'm doing something, and a guy that's been, French trained, and he's like, oh, you're doing this. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He was like, who taught you that? I was just like, it just comes natural, you know. When a dolphin is born in the water, you don't have to teach them how to
Mhm.
swim. They just swim. Like food just speaks. When you sear it properly, just let it rest for a little bit. And that's how I try and live my life now. Before I was hard. I would just work all the time, and sometimes my kids suffered. I would suffer. The business would suffer.
Mhm.
And until you're happy with yourself,
Yeah.
you can't lead properly until you reel in your demons. You can't tell people how to manage and maneuver and balance when you're unbalanced.
Mhm.
And in the past 3 years, it's been really just me balancing my life and knowing when to pull away, knowing when things are just like, I'm not about that stress anymore. And as great as the business is, as great as it is at times, if I'm not in full control of the madness, you know, but that's the life of the business.
Yeah.
And if unless you have people there that speak your same language and want to just usher in a culture, it's difficult.
So that's a good transition into Chop, Food Network Chop. So and I remember when the particular show we were watching, I'm not sure if it was the Food Impossible one, but and I know the oftentimes when they show stuff on TV, it's not in real time. So it
Hmm.
was a dish that you were working with, and it was like they were like, he hasn't even started he hasn't started doing anything yet with it. And we were watching, like, is he gonna
It
make
was.
it? They were like, it's only 5 minutes left, or it's this or that. So
Mhm.
so let's talk about Chop, because a lot of people, they'll say, "Oh man, I know how to cook."
Chop,
Get on
chop,
there.
chop. It's really just a exercise in thinking on your feet,
Okay.
and putting the pieces together. I loved it because it's the it's it's the realest hour on television. you
Okay.
know, because I don't know what's in the basket. Your 20 minutes is your 20 minutes, your 30 minutes, your 30 minutes, and
Right.
everybody's right there. And it's real time. It's great. And that last one, that Chopped Impossible, I did not know what I was gonna put. Lord have mercy. I did not know. I'm just watching these cats move around. I did not know what I was gonna make until
Yeah.
it was actually made, and I was lost. And then I was like, God, I know I'm not going out like this. And
Right.
then that's when it came together, and that's when it just went. That's when it just went. And then I made I made something that I made another time on Chops, and it won, like the apple pie.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't lose with apple pie. You
Right.
know.
Right.
Hold on one second. Oh, see, look. But it's
That's okay. It's a live show. It's live TV. We
Mhm. See,
so
and then my oldest is upstate. My
yeah.
oldest
You
is
have
at
it's
school.
21-year-old, 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 21. He's a 20-year-old
So
monster. This is my 10, and then
so are some of those chefs, the judges, are they as mean as they portray? Like a number of them are very good. The bald headed the gentleman who's bald headed, short, kind of husky.
oh, that's Santos. He's dope.
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Santos. He's Look. At the end of the day, they're all cool. Like
Okay, okay.
Scott
Yeah,
like
Scott. Yeah,
we've done Scott's cool. It's just we are particular people.
yeah.
We speak a certain way. It might be abrasive to some people, but
Right,
that's the way chefs talk.
right,
And don't for me it was great because don't hold your tongue with the food, because it's a competition. And this is the reason why I come to competitions, because it's not about if you like me or not. Is my food better than yours? And
right.
if my food is better than yours, and I'm gonna win. The whole reason why, okay, you can go now. Thank you. The reason why the reason why, yeah, this is exactly why. Yes. Okay, can we leave the room now? The reason why I went on Chopped is because I kept on reaching a glass ceiling,
Okay,
because I could only make but so much money working for somebody else. I could only, get so far. So I also knew the politics in me being 21, 22 years old in
hmm,
a business that the people don't look like me, and they're not going to give me what I'm asking for.
right.
That is when I knew I had to be bigger than myself.
Okay,
That is when I knew I had to be big. And the only way I could do that is by going on television and beating people that are supposed to beat me, because I never went to school.
right.
I never worked under a big chef. On Long Island, I am the big chef. You know
Hmm,
what I'm saying? I'm
right.
I'm one of the billers. So if I'm one of the top billings and I'm 25,
Hmm,
where what do I do now? Because I can't go back to school. So I have to go and I have to compete. And I would do Top Chef. They wouldn't take me because I didn't work under a big name chef. I'm
Okay,
saying this is the only show. And when I went on Chopped at first, it was because I could speak. You know what I'm saying? And that came through my upbringing, being
right.
able to talk in front of people, talk in front of a camera. They didn't know that I could cook at first. And then when they saw me cooking, they was just like, oh, this dude can burn.
Okay, okay.
And even while we were sitting in the middle of like the green screen and stuff like that, they were like, well, who did you work under? I was like, well, I didn't work under anybody. They was like, where are you from? I was like, I'm Long Island. They don't respect Long Island chefs. Oh, that's red sauce. That's pasta. It's Italian. I was like, that okay. Sleep on me if you will,
Right.
but I'm coming for the crown. So they don't show that backstory. So when I'm competing with those people, it comes out on screen because I'm coming at them now. I'm talking
Right.
and I'm cooking because it's a competition.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So I love Scott. I love, Alex, Scott, Amanda,
Yeah.
you know, Aaron Sanchez, all of them. And they're good people. Jeffrey could be hard, but Jeffrey gave me some of the most influential information. He was just because, you know, you're only as strong as your investors
Yeah.
as a chef.
Yeah.
And I remember it was after the competition. I had to do an event, and Jeffrey was the guest chef. He was like, "Yeah, I'm competing against one of their top chefs on Long Island." I was just like, "Yeah, that's me, Jeffrey." He's like, "Oh, okay." So we talked. It was at Walt Whitman Mall, and we did a few things. And he said, "Always keep your investors happy."
Okay.
And I didn't understand it at the time because I didn't have investors.
Right.
And I learned it more once I made my investors not happy. So, you know, but it was what it was. But I love that platform because you go from local to national in a matter of minutes.
So are there, I mean, 3 times you've won on there. Are there a lot of 3-time chop champions or
Not a lot of us, but now they're starting to be more because they go and repeat. Like I was on the first, what is it, Chop Champions.
okay.
And I've only lost twice, and I've lost to Gooey Duck, not the chefs.
Okay.
I've lost to Gooey Duck twice. No chef has beaten me yet.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
So what I'm gonna it's we almost near the time, but I want to talk a little bit about um, Morning Glory.
Yes.
So I I get why because of your background, but why is Morning Glory? So Morning Glory, for those of you who are watching who don't follow Chef Mark, which you should follow him on Instagram, on Facebook. Information is on the screen. Um, why is Morning Glory important, and why is Morning Glory a part of Marc Bynum's concepts?
Morning glory is important because it's just like breakfast. Like you need it to start your day. Um, it's something that I started years and years ago. I used to call it rise and grind, and it's just a nice fresh word. It's fresh bread. It gets your day started. Like morning glory, afternoon delight, nightcap. Like those are the things, three things that I want to do because everybody needs encouragement at some point in the day.
Mhm.
And if I'm looking for a word of encouragement, somebody is also looking for a word of encouragement. So I want to put it out there as much as I can because it is a part of Marc Bynum Concepts because Marc Bynum Concepts isn't just food. And
Mhm.
that's why, like this morning on Morning Glory, I said the food speaks and I heard clear because I'm fasting. I haven't fasted in forever. And I heard and the food speaks and I heard clearly, and so do I. And that's where now there's more talking points. I love to talk. I love to do TED Talks and stuff like that. And that's Marc Bynum Concepts. It's helping people fulfill their goals in business, what they want to do. It's not just about food consulting, but business consulting. How do you get yourself more exposure? How do you get more sales in? And then how do you eat better? How do you live better? I'm down 65 pounds just by certain things that I now just talk about and I advocate for, like healthy living, like intermittent fasting, like alkaline. I'm saying green juice. Like it's more about like I'm on pace. I want to be Martha Stewart from
Okay.
from me, like Martha Stewart, but I'm far from Jewish. You know, but
No, I,
that's
I
what
hear
it
you.
is.
I hear you.
And I think that growing it is just the way that you do because Mark Bynum Concepts lives on. It lives on in the legacy of my children.
Yeah.
The three dots on that M, that's my two sons and my daughter, one, two, three, like, and it grows. So
Okay.
it's left to them. The concepts have to stay. The lifestyle brand has to stay because, you can have a restaurant and that's great. And then when I'm gone, my kids don't necessarily eat off that restaurant if they don't
Yeah.
want to do it. But my lifestyle brands that I'm creating, you
Yeah.
know, the media operation, that's my oldest son. The music operation, that's my oldest son. The
Yeah.
food operations, that's the middle child that you saw. He's
Yeah.
he's cooking right now. My daughter, She won't have to do nothing, but whatever she wants to do, she can do because
Excellent.
it was set up. And that's what I speak to my young brothers and sisters. I'm hard on my young brothers and sisters just because it's necessary,
Right.
and that's the concept. The concept.
I think we're still live, but I think he froze. So we're gonna hopefully we can get him back. He froze in the middle of what he's saying, but we're gonna conclude this in a few minutes. Hopefully we can get him back, and then we're gonna leave here and we're gonna go jump over to Instagram. So for those of you who just tuned in, we've been talking to three-time chop champion Marc Bynum, Marc Bynum Concepts. Definitely want to follow him. His information is on the screen. And darn it, he popped out. He's probably going to come back. But hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Hopefully you've been inspired by what you've heard here tonight. And yeah, he's coming back. He's coming back. Let's add him.
Yeah, I'm back as if I never left.
So this is what we want to do, because we want to be kind of on time for our Instagram guests. I'm going to give you a couple minutes. I promise people that you will give them some tips, some tips of some things that that they should think about as they're preparing food, or it could be tips about one particular dish, one particular anything. But I'm like, we wanted to get your expertise on here, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to go full screen on you. Then I'm going to come back in about 2 minutes, and then we're going to wrap this show up. So take it away.
Okay. Is it going? Tips for cooking. What people don't realize, and I had to tell one of the cooks today, when you're cooking your food, whether it be like a piece of chicken, a piece of fish, make sure your pan is hot. Make sure your oil is hot. He took the pan, he put it right onto the stove, put it on the fire. Make sure that pan gets nice and hot. Then you put your oil in there. Make sure your oil gets hot. You can test it with a little bit of water. Once it starts to pop a little bit, season all sides of your food. Put it down. Don't shake the pan. Don't move it. If it's a piece of chicken or a piece of steak, let it sear. Get some nice color to it, and then you want to flip it. If you try and move it and it sticks to the pan, it's because it's not ready. That's one of the things that people are misnomer. You just want to take it, you just want to put it in the pan. You never want to do that, because what it does is it's not going to be hot enough, and all that oil is going to run into whatever piece of meat, fish, or chicken that's there, and that's why you don't get that nice crispy sear. Also, if you want to remove the things from the pan, butter is always good. So you put the butter in the pan, and then what it does is it pools along the sides, and then it helps it to release it. It also gives it that nice buttery flavor. Other than that, tips for cooking is just don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to mess up. Mess up with yourself. Mess up with people that they're testing with you. And they know that they might taste some nasty food. Always have a pen and a pad by your side. Great cooks aren't great cooks because they can make a dish one time well. They're great cooks because they can make a dish several times on point. And that only comes through recipes. So make sure when you're taking things in, write it down. If you have a cookbook that you're going off of, you might adjust the salt and the pepper to your palate. That's what you want to do. And have fun. Have fun in the kitchen. Have music going. It's always fun to dance in the kitchen. Always learn how to multitask. If you go to my pages, Chef Marc Bynum, on IG and on Facebook, you'll see some tips for different pieces of equipment that you'll have. Always have the right equipment for the job. If you don't have the right equipment for the job, then you're not going to do the job properly. Love to clean. You gotta love to clean, because if you don't, then you're going to have a messy kitchen, and nobody wants to work in a messy kitchen, and then you'll never want to cook. And those are my tips.
Man, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. I have so many more questions to ask, but we're gonna carry this
I
over.
know we're gonna have to listen. We're gonna carry it over to the next, and we're gonna have to do another one in my space because I have to definitely show them what I was talking about as far as the food
Yeah,
is concerned.
most definitely. We're gonna, you and I, we're linked. We're gonna be talking about off mic. We're gonna share some information with each other so we can talk about your brands, because you got, I think it's Fatwood. What is Fat? Because I
Yeah,
see where
Fat was this is a work shirt. I was working in the
yeah,
kitchen today. This is one of the places. This is one of my concepts. It's a barbecue concept.
yeah,
It's closed, but I still got the merch and I wear it every day just
yeah.
because. You okay? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy, audience, thank you so much for being with us tonight. This guy's a real deal. His food's been on Oprah's magazine. He worked with countless celebrities. They know him in New York. They know how legit his food is, how legit he is as a person. So once again, thank you for tuning in tonight to Image Builders Present Conversations with Michael Carson. Share this video on Facebook. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. We're about to hop over to the after show. The information's been on the screen all night. The after show on Michael Carson Jr. on Instagram. Follow Chef Marc Bynum on Instagram as well, so you can get that morning inspiration, 60 seconds of morning glory. Excellent word that he puts out, just stuff that'll bless you. Follow him to get information about what he's doing, how you can get his products, how you can get his sauces. They'll get to you really fast, really quick. Again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you. Next week, we got a 1 hour special. You do not want to miss that show either. We got a gentleman, Walter Smith, who was formerly incarcerated for a crime he did not commit for 11 years, got himself out through DNA. He's now doing motivational speaking, doing some work with young men. You definitely want to tune into that show next week. This brother is dynamite, just like the brother we had tonight, dynamite. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Continue blessings to everyone, and we'll see you here next week on Conversations with Michael Carson. God bless. Bye-bye.
You guys have a great one. Bye.